Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is YAHMAD. So we will continue the computer science video tutorials in this series of videos. And what we're doing today is we are looking at converting denary to hexadecimal. So this is quite tricky, if I'm being honest, compared to what we've done in the previous videos. What you need to be able to do is to be able to divide by 16. So just before we start, hexadecimal is base 16. It's made up of numerical values from 0 to 9 and then letters from A to F. So in total, we have 16 different characters. The units increased by the power of 16. So we go from 1, 16, 2, 5, 6, and 4096. Okay, so the question we have here is we need to convert 12,040 into hexadecimal. And my little technique is to draw a table like this, okay? And what we're going to do is put the first number here, so 12,040. And we need to see how many times 16 goes into 12,040. So if I zoom in, you can see my workings out. So this is how I divide. And there's two things we need to take from here is how many times is, how many times does 16 go into 12,040? The answer is 752. So we remove this number down here. And the hexadecimal is taken from the remainder. So the remainder was 8. Since 8 is a numerical value, the hexadecimal is also the same. And we place that 8 down here as the first hexadecimal value. So the next step, so this 752, we said we move down here. We then divide this by 16. So how many times does 16 go into 752? Okay, the answer was 47, and there was no remainder. So the 47, we move down to here for the next round of division. The remainder was 0, so we put 0 here, and the hexadecimal value is also the same. So that's the next hexadecimal value. So we got 8 from here, and then 0 from this second round of division. So now we want to see how many times 16 goes into 47. And you can use this table here if you like. Okay, so how many times is 16 going to 47? Okay, so it goes 2 times and we have a remainder of 15. So we put the remainder here. Okay, and what's the hexadecimal value of 15? It is F. So if we come back down to here, so F is the next value hexadecimal that we can put into this table here. So we move this 2 again down to here. How many times is 16 going to 2? The answer is 0. And we have a remainder of 2. We don't need to convert it since it's a numerical value, which is below 9. I should have said that about 8 as well, 9 or below. So 2 stays the same. The only times you would have to convert the values is if it's between 10 or 15 to the hexadecimal value. So if it falls within this range, okay? Right, so that was the first example. I think what we're going to do now, hopefully, is do this together. And this table here will hopefully help us. So what we need to do is we need to convert 202 into hexadecimal. So the first part of the equation is I'm going to put 202 here. Okay, and let me just count these numbers here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I think the answer, what we have is it goes in 12 times into 202. And what's left over? So we're basically left with 10. So the remainder is 10. Okay, so I'm going to put the remainder here. And if it's 10, it's going to be equal to A. So A is the first value. Okay. And I'm going to put 12 down here and here. Okay. So how many times does 16 go into 12? The answer is 0, it doesn't. And the remainder is 12. Okay. And what is 12? Let's have a quick look here. 12 is C. So we can put a C there and here. So the answer we have is CA. So what you need to do, just to remind you, just before we end this video, you need to divide the number by 16, okay? So in the first instance, 16 goes into 202 12 times. We move this number down here. And the remainder is used for the hexadecimal values. So if the values are between 10 and 15, you need to convert it to the hexadecimal letters. So between A and F. If it was like from 0 to 9, we just leave it as it is. Okay, so and then what we did was we checked how many times 16 goes into 12. It doesn't. And the remainder was 12, which we then convert again. And the answer which we got was C and A. So it's a successive division by 16, and the remainder was converted into hexadecimal. So I hope, guys, that makes sense. I find it useful to write this little table down, multiples of 16. It just helps me to divide. Okay, guys, thank you for your time. Hopefully this video is useful for you. Please drop your comments below, like and share, and please subscribe to the channel. Please join me also in the next video. We will be looking at adding two positive 8-bit binary integers together. Okay, thank you for your time. Bye-bye.